Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are making the most delicious Guinness beef stew ever. It's so rich, it's so comforting. It is absolutely perfect for a crowd because it's the kind of thing that kind of gets better and better as it sits. You can even make it the night before. So really, it's totally up to you. Let me run you through the list of ingredients you'll need, which are really not very many. You'll just need some bacon, you'll need some beef. I'm using chuck here that's been cut into big pieces, nice big chunks. I've got onions, celery, carrots, garlic, the usual suspects for a stew. Worcestershire, you'll need your Guinness, of course. You will need some beef stock, you'll need some bay leaves, some thyme, some tomato paste, flour, salt and pepper, olive oil. I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing anything else. So, first things first, in a Dutch oven, I'm gonna go ahead and add my bacon. I really wanna just render the fat out of the bacon. And once it's there and the bacon is somewhat crisp, I will take it out. I'm just doing this because obviously I wanna give the bacon some texture. Otherwise it's kind of just gonna be melding into the stew. But I also wanna render a lot of its fat. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. While that's happening, I'm gonna season the one side of my beef so that when I add it all in there, I can season the other side. Season well with salt and pepper. Salt and pepper here. Here we go. Hey, where's my other one? Here we go. Bacon's done. I want you to see how much fat it rendered. That is why I always cook my bacon ahead of time, and then I take all of the bacon fat out, because as much as I love the flavor of bacon, I am someone that I don't really like the idea of that much bacon fat running through the entire stew, because it's just, first of all, it's too much, and second, it could be a bit overpowering, so I always discard it in most cases, and I always use just a tiny bit more olive oil. I'm gonna season a little bit more, a tiny bit more olive oil, and then just really take the time to season and sear your beef, because that's gonna add so much good flavor, so much rich and depth to the stew. So once you have everything in one layer, try not to mess with it, because that's where you get that really good crust. Look in here, look at all that good color, okay? Admittedly, look at that. I really should have seared the beef in 2 batches, but you know, it's okay. We got enough color, enough richness. Everything that's in the bottom of the pot is gonna cook with your onions and your celery and all that, and it's gonna just get lifted by the moisture from the vegetables. A bit more olive oil. You notice I'm only adding a touch at a time, because I don't need to add a ton all in one go, because I would need more for the next time. You know what I mean? For the next step. So what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna cook the onions and the celery and the garlic and the carrots, medium heat, not high heat, medium heat. The moisture from the vegetables is going to start to lift all those beautiful brown bits from the bottom of the pot, which has so much depth and flavor. It is insane. So while that happens, you're just building extra flavor without extra cost, which I love. And then we'll proceed with the next step once these get some color. Add in some flour. Take a minute to really work that in. It's gonna look dry in a minute, but don't worry. Just give that everything a second. See, it's kind of like losing its flour look. It's getting absorbed by the olive oil, and then we're going to introduce some tomato paste. So you need about a 1/4 cup, like so. I love the sort of unfussiness of, I gotta crank this up, the unfussiness of a stew, because you kind of just sear, season, cook, caramelize, and then boom, the magic happens as it cooks for a really long time. You need your Guinness. Boom, as Mia would say. This is gonna be the first thing that's gonna lift all of those flavors. This is what's gonna give that signature flavor. Yes. All of those brown bits will loosen as it cooks, so don't panic. It's all good stuff. That's actually like the key to really good stew, as I said. Your beef stock. Give everything a stir. Then you need a few dashes of Worcestershire, like that. Put your beef back in. Any juices collected at the bottom of the plate, of course, along with your crispy bacon. Beautiful. And some thyme and bay. I'm using dry today, but you could use fresh. And here you go. And this is just going to come to a bubble. And then I'm going to partially cover. And I'm going to let this simmer on low for a few hours until the beef is super, super tender. All right, the stew is ready. I want you to look at this. First of all, you see how all those brown bits that were stuck to the bottom are now all gone? They've all lifted into the stew. It is so incredible. It's rich. It's got such beautiful, beautiful depth of flavor. The Guinness definitely adds something special and very unique, I would say. It does need a ton of parsley because it does need something green. And I also like a bit more black pepper because I did taste this. I turned it off a bit ago. And I mean, look at that texture. This is begging to be spooned or ladled, I should say, on top of some mashed potatoes. You know it is. Come on. It's begging for it, but for right now, we're just gonna, look how thick. Took a few hours, but really, I didn't do anything in that time. Look at that. I just allowed it to do its magic. I've got a fork. Najlami said. I allowed it to just do its magic. And then I'm just going to reward myself. The beef is so tender. 10 out of 10. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. You have got to make this. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one.